Alright, so back with part 2. So let's see where we left off. So what I was saying for part 2 here is, this is an example of not taking high ground. So you're down here against a Junkrat and a Mauga. Your basically options to get to point are 2 small little hallways down here. Here. You're going to get spammed to death. You're going to take so much damage walking right here. Good rule of thumb is always high ground. Like, always high ground is better. Your Hanzo has a really good position, minus the Genji about to dive him, which he's not thinking about, so he's probably going to die for that. But anyway, if you walked out and you were up here, like, it's so much more open for you. The Junkrat has a much harder time spamming up on you. You could potentially get a hook on the Mercy. You'd be here to be able to protect your Hanzo, who's inevitably going to get dove by this Genji. But down here where you are, you really cannot do much, and you're going to take so much damage. But anyway, let's see what happens. So I think that I honestly think that fight was largely lost from the moment that you walked out underneath, because your team fell apart based on positioning off the rip. So going underneath here is pretty bad. You're definitely gonna die here. Yeah, that was low ground. What happens when you go low ground instead of taking high ground example. I think you guys win that fight if you were high ground there. Hanzo's feeding, nothing you can do about that. I like the idea of looking for a hook here. Hooking the Mauga is probably the easiest target. Pressure on him. It's a little bit of an ambitious flank hook there, but I don't hate it. Basically, you need to hook the Mauga in right now just to start something off. Like, you guys are gonna have such a hard time engaging just trying to walk on this, but if you hook the Mauga into your trap, bait out a bunch of cooldowns, there's pressure on him. He probably has to turn and run using his run ability because he takes a lot of damage. He runs out, say down to here to get healed up. All of a sudden, there's now a window of opportunity where your team can walk out, right? So landing that hook on the Mauga, doing a shitload of damage to him to open things up, to force him to run away, then gives you that window to walk out to this nice high ground here. But right now, because you haven't gone for that yet, you're kind of in a stalemate. And you're just, like, the only thing that can happen here to open it up is, like, your Hanzo lands a headshot, your Junk gets a lucky kill. Which, you can't trust teammates to do that at this rank. I like that. It's a good fish. So now the high ground's open, so I would walk to that. Put pressure out, which is what you're doing. What your animal's doing. I like the idea there. There's an instance where when your health gets that low, your first instinct has to be to hold your right click to get healing. I think you live there. If you were holding your healing from the moment you got bumped up in the air and you had 56 health, with the damage mitigation plus the healing, I don't think that Genji is able to kill you, and you could probably walk back and survive. So just something to keep in mind. You want to have that instinct built up to, like, hit your heal button when you're at threat of dying.
Come to my position.
So to be honest, right now, like, your team hasn't done a lot, and you haven't done a lot, like, this round. There hasn't been a lot of pressure. You got the one hook on the Mauga, which you got out. So I think right now it's pretty rough. So you're gonna have to get something going, maybe on the Junk to turn this around.
Hey, it's Jacob.
someone's got to touch, so hopefully they do. Looks like they do. There's just like you gotta. That's again a game time thing. Is like seeing Junkrat traps. I still run into them on ball all the time, but you get better at realizing when they're throwing them out when they're on the ground. Just making sure you don't walk into those. But again, that's a game time thing. Yeah, you got the right idea to play down here and cover from the Mauga. So here's where you want to be going for hook and then ult him. Yeah, so again, you ulted without the hook. You hook there, and he all of a sudden he's right in your face. He's dead or very close to dead if you had hooked that first. And it's a very easy hook. He's huge. So that's an easy mechanical one for you to implement that'll get you a lot more free kills. I don't even think he dies here because he's got a Mercy healing him and you're pushing him away. I don't know if he even dies here. Okay, your Ana antied him, so he did die, which is good. I don't mind this positioning. I actually like it. Like, you're not at risk of dying. You're putting pressure on the enemy. You force them to group back up, get away from your guys. So I really like that. This is like good recognition that you're not at threat of dying. And as tank, when you're not at threat, you have to push advantage. So you did that. You put pressure on. You got a hook on the Kiriko. Maybe got the kill. Maybe could have got the kill. Maybe not. But it doesn't matter. You could put good pressure on. But now the Mauga's back. Now there's a threat. So it's like now you either hold space as best you can or you give up space so you don't die. That's kind of like the push and pull of tank. It's the most important on tank. It's like if you have advantage, push advantage, but you need to get really good at recognizing when you have advantage and when you don't. So that was a really good job. I like that you pushed up, got some extra poke, build some extra ult charge, force them to get back off your team. And now you did another good job, which is Mauga's back. It's now a 4v1 with their tank, so you backed off, which is really, really good. So love to see that. Here, yeah, you got your trap down. There, the trap, at a higher rank, that trap is gone instantly. They'll see you throw that down, they'll just kill it instantly. So, honestly, like even in gold, they'll just kill that right away. So you're better off walking to where you are, throwing it down here, and then going for your hooks and stuff. Throwing it away like that, it's a 12-second cooldown. So it's a very, very long cooldown. It's a valuable cooldown, so you don't want to be throwing it out willy-nilly like that. Yeah, I would have much rather you got to where you are now and throw it on the ground in front of you here, because at a higher rank, that's just gone instantly. Yeah, so there's an instance where the Mauga is like essentially hard feeding. Doing that with your team. Oh shit. I'll get better at the camera next time for this, I swear. He's hard feeding on your team. He's right in the middle of them. I don't think there's a good chance that you kill their supports when they've got two of them there. I would have rather you just immediately turn and start trying to help your team with this Mauga, whether it's hooking him, whether it's shooting him, because he's feeding, and at a higher rank, like that Mauga should die instantly, and that would be because everyone would turn him. It's a very loud, long charge, so when you see that happening, he can't get out. Like, he has no cooldowns, he has no ability to get out now, so this is like a suicide play that should be hard punished. So I would have rather you just absolutely like start recognizing those like very dumb mistakes, and when you see him waste his one escape cooldown, turn in hard focus. That's what you want to do. That's how you really win at these lower ranks, is when you see people do really dumb shit like that, you hard punish it and they'll melt. But because you got a kill on their Junkrat, that's good because they didn't have a tank, but because you didn't turn around, he killed your Ana. That's a bad trade. A DPS for your main healer is a bad trade. So they won that. They just won that like little exchange right there. in the Mauga hard feeding on your Ana, getting the kill on her, and then opening up space for you to kill a Junkrat, that's still a win for the enemy team, that engagement. So I would, like I said, I would have rather you turn, and if you hook that Mauga there when he goes and hard feeds, you pull him away from your team, you stun him for a few seconds or for like a second where your team can do damage, and you, more importantly, you pull him away from your Ana and she doesn't die there. I like it. You're running. You're trying to do healing. You're going back here. I would have rather you kept going the other way and just like prevent taking damage. You got behind cover here, and stopped, like he wasn't able to see you, but then you walked back out, and through this little like cross here, you took even more damage. I would have rather you come back here, try and get your health back, and then do it. Whereas now you're rotating over here. You took a shitload of damage. You don't have much of your healing. You don't have any of your healing bar left. So now you're just kind of stuck over here not doing anything. Whereas if you'd gone over here, you might have been able to heal up a little bit more, poke a little bit more. That would have been my preference, but not a huge issue. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so I just stay away from that. They're just kind of rolling over your team right now with ults. But I think that all started, that whole breakdown started when the Mauga got the kill on the Ana. When the Mauga got the kill on the Ana, that started the snowball in their favor, even though you killed the Junk. Because your team, all of a sudden, they have a Mauga on point that didn't die, that's in close range, that can heal himself very well with his abilities. You guys are down a main healer, and more importantly, you're down your Ana that can anti-nade the Mauga, which allows you to kill him. So basically, because Mauga fed hard, didn't get punished for feeding hard, and killed your Ana, he now becomes invincible to your team, which is a huge problem when he's already right on the point. So because that hard punish didn't happen on that Mauga when he fed in like that, and should have been punished, it led to the collapse of that entire team fight. Anyway, not a bad job. I think there's a lot of this stuff that I mentioned, a lot of it, I would say like 80% of it comes from just playing, recognizing those things. A couple big things I'd like you to keep in mind would be, one, looking for those really dumb mistakes by the enemy and looking to punish them. It's the easiest way to climb out of the lower ranks because people do dumb shit nonstop. The other one is cooldown awareness. So like recognizing like when you've got your cooldowns available, and not holding them for too long, but also not throwing them out willy-nilly. So no throwing hooks just into walls or into shields. It's too precious a resource. Not just throwing trap out at the enemy team when you have it, but trying to be a little more thoughtful of where you should place it, where it's not just going to get destroyed and where it's going to get value. And then I think there's just a few matchup specific things you can keep in mind, where there's a couple things where Roadhog specifically has some really huge advantages, and a bunch of enemies have massive disadvantage against him. So you want to look to exploit those. So like the monkey is a really good one, where it's just Roadhog has such a massive advantage. Wrecking Ball, massive advantage. Landing hooks on a Wrecking Ball is huge. That sort of thing will be really important for you. Overall, though, I think just keep playing. You're going to see massive improvement. I would stick with Hog if you like it, because Hog is a very, very good ranked solo queue character. He's got self-sufficient healing. He's got one-shot potential. He's got good damage, good sustain. The only thing he lacks is mobility. So on the maps where there's a lot of high ground, you're just going to have to, you can't just walk under the high ground. You're going to have to get up on that high ground. And that ties into, I guess, the last big thing for you to keep in mind would be like high ground use versus low ground use. And that last round was, the start of that last round was a really good example of what happens if you don't leverage high ground advantage. Things fall apart very quickly because the enemy will have such an advantage on you. Anyway, overall, great job, man. And yeah, it wasn't a bad game.